Are you there? So yesterday we have
Yes.
discussed. Yeah, yeah. So yesterday we have discussed the canonical tags. So robots.txt is the last class when you were part of that. So in yesterday's class we have discussed canonical tags, the rel equal to no index, no follow, and then we discussed internal linking mesh. Yeah, and we discussed the template SEO content such as the meta tags, heading tags, right? So we have discussed the complete site level SEO so far. We are ready to start the technical SEO. Okay, okay. So we are done with on page SEO and site level SEO. Okay, so and everything has been documented on this Google Docs. You all have access to this, and you all can go through it, right? Yeah. So what is technical SEO? What is technical SEO? Anybody here knows? No. Okay. So the optimization of the technical aspects of your website in order to enhance your search engine's performance, search engine rankings, in order to enhance your search engine rankings or performance of your website on the search search engines by optimizing the technical aspects of your website. Everybody, just give me 1 second. Hello. Super. Huh? అందరికీ లేదు అందరికీ లేదట అడిగిన కింద టెక్స్టింగ్ ఆఫీసర్ సర్లే వస్తాను చూస్తాను క్లాస్లో ఓకే సో టెక్నికల్ SEO deals with the technical aspects of the website which help or improve the performance of the website on the search engines. Okay, so the technical SEO mainly focuses on improving the crawl stats and the user engagement, right? So technical SEO plays a crucial role in improving the crawl stats. So in one of the class we were discussing about the load times. Do you all remember load times and the page size? How the load times and page size get impacted by load times and load times and the page sizes can impact the crawl rate and crawl frequency of the website. Correct. So one example that we had considered was if a page is 1 MB and if bot is visiting, so we understood that bots visit our website with certain bandwidth, either in terms of time or in terms of data. So, for example, if a bot is visiting your website with 100 MB data, and if each page is of 1 MB size, bot can crawl maximum 100 pages on your website, correct? Right? And now, when you bring it down to 500 KB, now bot can crawl 200 pages instead of 100. So, it improves its crawl rate by 100 percentage, correct? Correct. So same way when bot visits your website with 5 minutes of time, 5 minutes is 300 seconds, and if each page is loading in 5 seconds, so it can hardly crawl 60 pages, correct? And if you bring down it to 1 second, it can crawl 300 web pages, correct? So in technical SEO mainly we address in technical SEO we address the address the load times.
Your mic is off.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, so in technical SEO, mainly we address the load times the page sizes. So if you all remember, we discussed this in the on-page SEO as well, right? No, or generally no. We discussed this during search engines functionality. How do we improve the user engagement? So that's what we discussed. Mainly to optimize the load times, to optimize the page sizes, the number of requests, the number of requests of the page requests in serving or rendering the web pages, the number of requests sent to server, sent to server, and we also deal with IP detections if required for multi-reason optimization. Okay, so we deal with the CDNs and what else? IP detection, CDNs, the server response times, compatibility for the multiple devices or gadgets. So in technical SEO, we address load times. Okay, so it is suggested load times. It is suggested to have. So it is suggested to optimize the web pages to load in less than 2 seconds. Less than 2 to 3 seconds. If you could quicker the load times, quicker the load times, better it is, right? So how do we bring down the load times? How do we bring down the load times? I'll just do one thing for all of this. So the page sizes, it is suggested to have less than 1 MB. Lower the page size, better it is. Okay, the number of requests sent to the server in rendering the page should be less than 100. Okay, okay. So how do we bring down the number of requests? How do we reduce the size? How do we improvise the load times? Right. So for all this, how do we do is we compress, we compress the content, we implement the CSS sprites, we optimize the images or compress the images, right? So post the host the website on servers with good configuration. Configuration such as RAM or processing speed, right? Uh, Implement CDNs. So this is answering how do we improve the load times, page sizes, and the and bring down the requests. Okay, so we have to do all these things in order to improve the load times, page sizes, and bring down the requests. Okay, so what is this compressing the content, and how do we do it? Compressing the content. So this is z-zipping, z-zipping the content sent from server to the browser. Okay, so in order to do this, you have to you have to add a piece of code or commands in HTML file. Okay, so we implement. So this one we compress the content. So what I'll do is I'll just add a reference link here. So look at this article. This article is all about helping you understand all about that helps you to understand how to improve the load times of the website. Okay. See, this is z-zipping the file through HT access. So there will be a code something like this. Okay. So which we are going to add into the HT access file. HT access file is a control file on your server. So this is mainly the developers will know better about it. So as a digital marketer, you have to get these understandings as well. That's why I'm explaining it to all of you. Okay. Right. So apart from this, you have to also work on not just implementing the CDNs, set the expiry headers. Set the expiry headers. So this one you all understood, right? This is HT access file, not HTML file. The HT access file. Dot. It's called as .ht access file. It's always named .ht access file only. Okay. So we implement image sprites. So now if you look at this, a web page can have multiple images. So look at this. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiple images, correct? So for example, so you all know that's Google Collage, right? Google gives you all photos into one photo. That's called as Google Collage. So if you have to send multiple photos in one sentence, one photo, probably you will consider sending Google Collage, right? So same way now on the websites, we can implement something like that where all the images will go into one single image. That's called as CSS sprites. So now there won't be multiple requests. Now this is one image, there will be one request sent to server in order to get this to the browser. This is coming from server to your browser. This image is also coming from server to your browser. This image is also coming from server to your browser. Now instead of sending so many requests to the server, we will combine all of this to one request, and only one image is sent from the server. That one image will have all of them in this. While presenting, we present everything separately. That's the beauty of CSS sprites. All will be in one image, but while we present them different places, whatever is needed from that image, right? So that's how the CSS sprites work. So when you implement CSS sprites, we implement CSS sprites in order, this will reduce the number of requests sent to the server, and in return serving or rendering of those files to the browser browsers, and hence the load times will improve, the requests will come down. Okay, and the page size, the request will come down, and the page size Each image is of 1 MB. If you're sending 10 images, it becomes 10 MB. Now all these 10 images can be combined to one, and you can send a 2 MB file. Page size will reduce. See, how do we check or understand all of these things? We use a tool called tools.pingdom.com and gtmetrics. Tools.pingdom.com and another tool is gtmetrics. I'll update here how to understand the technical aspects, technical SEO. We address, okay, how to measure or understand the performance of the website. Okay, use the following tools. And there's something called as Google Page Insights. Google Page Speed Insights. Google Page Speed Insights. So I'll add this as well for your reference. How do we improve the load times? Okay. Refer. Okay. Are you all understanding this? Yeah. Any problem in understanding this? Yeah. Look at this. Look at this tool. So the load time it's showing 11.54 seconds. Ideally, it has to be less than 3 seconds. Correct? So there is a serious issue. The number of requests we suggested to have less than 100 and it is just 46, and sometimes the request can be just 20, 10, 15 also. It depends on the coding practices. And the page size we have asked him to keep it less than 1 MB, but it is 1.6 MB. Correct? So I'll add the screenshot of this as well. This too has issues now. So if you fix this, this might probably go to 100 as well. The performance will go to 100. So, and as a SEO professional, as a digital marketer, you have to aim towards moving it to 100. Okay. And now GT metrics also will help you to get various kinds of details. The report is expired and pending purge. Okay, let me take the same URL again and check it on GT metrics. See, the grade should be A grade in case of closer to better. So this is in green color and it shows 90% implies the page structure is good. Okay. So largest content element. See, a web page is made up of multiple components such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, videos. A web page comprises all these things, correct? And on this page, any content that's of bigger size, maybe an image, there is an image, and that bigger content is taking maximum time, so that it's called as largest content element. The time taken for any largest content on your page cannot be beyond 1.2 seconds, whatever the size of the file it be 2 MB, 3 MB, 4 MB, 5 MB or 10 MB. Whomsoever you are not going to get a job just like that. You have to clear the interview, right? Same way here, whatever the size of the file, it should not supposed to be beyond this. The load time of largest content element, the largest content file cannot be beyond 1.2 seconds, but in this case it's 4.1 second. Okay, so which is very bad, and this has to be optimized, right? So this optimization could be mostly to deal with the server responses or how the content is rendered. Maybe probably the page, all the content will be loading at one time. So instead of that, the sections can be loaded one by one, right? So TBT is total blocking time. So total time blocked, TBT tells you how much time is blocked by script during your page loading process. For a good user experience, aim for a TBT of 150 milliseconds, less than 150 milliseconds, and this is 107 milliseconds. Hence, you would see it in. So CLS is cumulative layout shift. CLS is cumulative layout shift, indicates how much layout shift is experienced by visitors as your page loads. For a good user experience, aim for a CLS score of zero point 0.1 or less. So this is 0. So this your layout shift from one section to the other section, the shift is not difficult. It's easy. It's good, right? So the only thing that has to be taken care is now LCP. So if LCP is largest content point, large time taken to load the largest content element, which is called as largest content point. If this is fixed, the performance would go to 100 percentage, and you will see the grade also might go to A grade or B grade, right? I'll take screenshot of this as well for your reference, and you'll get to know or see how the GT metrics report looks like. Yeah. So one more we were speaking about is Google Page Speed Insights. So I keep visiting this tool. I keep using this tool. That's why you see it in purple color. So let me take the same URL and understand what are the performance suggestions from Google Page Speed Insight tool. This is taking some time. Meanwhile, let's look into other things. Okay, so I'll discuss about the content delivery network (CDN). Okay, so usually the servers which you host your website are uh, maintained in different locations. Your server locations could be Mumbai or maybe Canada or Boston or maybe any other part of the globe. Okay. So whenever a user sends a request, whenever someone types a website address candradigital.com or maybe any other website, the request goes to the server, whichever server is. So it's server wherever the website is hosted. Okay, so this will take quite some time. So to deliver the content or information from those servers to your websites. So content delivery network, what this content delivery network does is, so content delivery network is basically a company which installs servers at various places across the globe, right? And whenever a request is sent to your domain, candradigital.com, so what it does is the request instead of going into the server, the actual server where it is located goes to the nearby server. So basically, the content delivery network takes a copy of your information to multiple servers, and whenever a request is coming, it just passes into the nearby server, and the content will be delivered or sent from the nearby servers. Okay, so that's how the content delivery network works. Okay, so set up the content delivery networks to serve the cached and nearby cached and from the servers located nearby places of the traffic or visitors. Okay, so let's check if the page speed sites have loaded. Yeah, so look at this. This says the performance of this website, the performance score is just 49. So if you click on this and look at it, again the issue is first contentful point, that's the issue, largest contentful point. First contentful point is, so when you load a web page, on the page there will be logo, there will be different images, there will be content, right? So on this page, first thing whichever loads, that's called as first contentful point. This is largest contentful point. So both has issues. Any content that you are loading first for the on the page, that should be less than 100 milliseconds. Sorry, it's not less than 100 seconds, less than 1.1 second, or less than 900 milliseconds, less than 900 milliseconds. But this is 1.4 seconds, which is bad. Largest contentful point, same thing. So it has to be less than 1 second, but it is 2.7 seconds. So total blocking time here, it showed a different thing, seconds, right? So which should be less than 120 or 130 milliseconds. That's what they indicated or suggested here. It has to be less than 150 milliseconds. But here in this tool, it's showing 720 milliseconds. Ideally, it's supposed to be 150 milliseconds. Okay, and it is providing you some suggestions. Avoid an excessive DOM elements, user timing marks and measures. So this is all the technical tips. So as a digital marketer, you have to look into these things, and you have to ask the development teams to fix them. See, there are few other issues like accessibility issues. Buttons do not have accessible names. Documents does not have title element. This is HTML practice. Form elements do not have associated labels. Background and foreground colors do not have a sufficient contrast ratio. Heading elements are not in a sequential descending order. There are 6 different types of headings. H1 to be used first, H2 to be used second, third will be H3. So these things has to be in sequence. That is not taken care, right? So there are some best practices that ensures CSP is effective against XSS attacks. This is about the security thing, the SSL certificate, and a couple of other things. Detected JavaScript libraries. Okay, so always try to document does not have title element, description text is empty, links do not have descriptive text. So links do not have descriptive text is there is no anchor text, ahref. We put anchor text, crawling and indexing. Links are not crawlable. See, we have intentionally blocked crawling of these links. We don't want to be crawling these links, and we have intentionally blocked them, and hence it says the links are blocked for crawling, right? So Google Page Speed Insights. You all understood, right, on which tools you have to check. So this is basically for your understanding, which you should be communicating to the development teams and getting them fixed. All have to be in the green color, and all have to be 100. At least, if not 100, should be more than 90. That's what you should be aiming at. Okay. So the CDNs, so you have to speak to your developers. There are service CDN service providers, like how you have the hosting sellers, domain sellers. There are companies, Akamai company, and there are many companies which provides you CDN services. Not a Cloudflare, yeah, Cloudflare. So some of these companies provide the services. So you can opt the services from them. You can purchase or buy the services from them, and they will integrate it with your website so that it starts caching all the content or information of your website and stores it in all the servers. And whenever user is visiting from Bangalore, it gets the content from the nearby server and serves to the user. Okay, you all got it right. The server response time is the time taken, is the total time taken by the server to respond to the requests from the browser or bots. It has to be it has to be always less than 500 milliseconds. Lower the quicker the quicker or fastest the response time, better it is. Okay. So explicitly, I have made a video on this. I'll show it to you. Yeah. So Anmol, I am not sure. Will you be able to hear this or not?
So I'm pretty sure that most of the SEO professionals must be looking into this interface of such console, the crawl stats.
So
But did you?
Anmol, I am going to share this link here, so you can watch it on your computer now.
Okay.
Okay. Because I don't think you will be able to hear it. Okay. People
Yeah,
here can,
there's
yeah.
no
So
sound.
simultaneously you can open it on your computer and you can watch it. I'm going to play it here for everyone. Okay. Audio you can listen and screen you can watch it here. Okay. So let me
Okay.
send it to you in the chat now so that you open that and listen to the audio and watch my screen. Okay. So we are going back to the video. So this is a new channel of Kanta Digital. So we are posting some different kinds of content here. So I'm playing this video. So from starting, you can also play it and sync it accordingly
So
the
I'm
seconds.
pretty sure that most of the SEO professionals must be looking into this interface of such console, the crawl stats. But did you ever really try to understand what exactly all these numbers mean? So the pro tip here is you have to make sure that your average response time has to be as low as possible. The ideal suggested response time is less than 1000 milliseconds. If at all, if you are seeing this number higher than 1000 milliseconds, you have to work towards bringing it down to as low as possible. Okay. So in this scenario, it's somewhere around the average response time for a period of 3 months. The average of 3 months is 12.6k seconds. In fact, it was somewhere around 46,000 milliseconds, and it kept varying. And definitely, this will be the biggest blocker for your search engine optimization. So you do n number of things, and regardless of all that, still your website would never perform, never rank as expected. Okay. And second thing that you have to look into is the crawl request, total crawl requests. So you have to make sure the total crawl requests are at least equal to the total number of web pages if you're expecting a quick growth for your business or the growth at the right pace. Okay, so look at this. This website has close to 40,000 web pages, but the number of crawl requests per day is 5,000. So that is quite a small number. Okay, so for some other websites which have been in the industry for quite some time, so whose SEO is happening in the right direction and has got all the technical aspects in place, so the crawl request will be usually twice or thrice the total number of web pages on the website. So this basically indicates the web page is getting crawled, each web page is getting crawled twice or thrice or maybe beyond that. This is definitely a very good sign for progress, SEO progress. You should be aiming at more number of crawls. Each web page should get crawled more number of times or very frequently. Okay. So this also indicates your the server of this website, the hosting of this website definitely will have the problem. If I scroll through, yeah, you could see that here. Look at this, problems in the past, problems in the past. See, these kinds of response time definitely would impact the status codes. So most of the times, the bots experience 500 server errors, right? So this is the pro tip for today. Okay, I'm hoping that this will be super useful for SEO professionals. Thanks, guys.
So you all understood, right, the response time, how to read the response time, and how to what should be the ideal response time, right? So watch it once again if you are not clear about it. So response time of your server plays a crucial role in performance of your website, the crawl stats of your website, and hence you have to pay extreme attention to the server response time. Okay. So you have to also make sure that your website is compatible on all devices, mobile phones. And mobile phones, when you say mobile phones, the screen sizes will vary from one company to the another company. The screen sizes, even the same company, different sizes. iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 10, iPhone 12. So every screen is of different size, and you have to make sure that your website is compatible on all of these screens. So usually the test engineers will do this, take care of this. They check the website on multiple phones, and some companies will have 30, 40, 50 phones in their offices just to check the compatibility of the websites on all of those devices, right? So why should you check? How is this going to impact? So when your website is showing properly on desktop, if it is not showing properly on mobile phones, what is the problem? Or maybe it's showing very good on mobile phone of the mobile phone, let's say iPhone 7, and on desktop it's looking good. Why should we still bother about other phones? So most of the users visiting your website will be from mobile phones most of the times, especially for the B2C businesses. Your website visitors will be mostly from the mobile phones, and that too mostly from the Android phones. If your website is not appealing to the users, see, your website's performance or importance will be given to your like the importance will be given to your website only on basis of users response, users behavior, users attention, users engagement. So if 70% of the people are coming from mobile phones, and if you are not taking care of them, and if you are considering only 30 percentage, or if you're taking care of only 30 percentage, 70 percentage has bad experience. And you all know that we took this table, you all remember that how search engines function, the three crucial metrics, the crawl frequency, CTR, and engagement. Your engagement is spoiled for majority of the audiences, and hence you cannot really make better positions on Google search results, you cannot rank on Google. Hence, it's super important to ensure that the website is compatible all devices. Correct? Did you all get that? Okay. Yeah. So IP detection if required for multi-region optimization. Okay. So there are websites which serve content based on the reason. So if you're coming from USA, the information has to be shown to you in US dollars. So let's say a company or website is selling, so or maybe Amazon, you are exploring Amazon, you have searched on Google you, for some product and you have visited Amazon website. It cannot show it in dollars for you, correct? So after visiting websites, what this IP detection does is they detect your IP. On basis of the IP is right now you are in HSR layout in the Agra and you are browsing from a specific internet connection, right? So which is probably an Airtel connection located, I mean like which is from the signals of a nearby tower, correct? So all this information says that I am located in HSR, or if I am using a Wi-Fi connection, even that says I am located in HSR. So everything will have an IP, okay, IP address, okay. On basis of this address, the website automatically detects that this person is coming from Bangalore. Bangalore is India, and I have to show it in INR currencies. So that is IP detection. Okay, so it's not necessarily currency, sometimes showing the list of products, or it can be anything, right? So the technical SEO deals with these kinds of things as well, not just these things, servers performance, servers configuration, right? So deals with, instead of technical SEO, we address in technical SEO, you deal with the load times, all this, the server configurations, configurations, uh, the server uptimes. Okay, so you're going to address all of these as well. Server configurations, basically the RAM or processing, the storage, and the IP. Sorry, not IP, and the storage. That's all. CPUs. So this RAM and CPUs play a crucial role in performance of the website. The speed in processing. Okay, so the CPUs and RAM play a crucial role in quick processing of data. Okay, make sure it's, see, based on the traffic, based on the traffic content on the website, type type of the website, dynamic and static. Different types of websites, dynamic and static, type of the websites, the RAM and CPUs to be used vary. Okay, okay. It's suggested to have a dedicated server in case of dedicated server, or both mean the same. I'm using both the terms, server and hosting both mean the same. It's suggested to have a dedicated server or hosting for websites with higher traffic and content. Okay, so the server uptimes. See, if your server is off most of the times, bots won't be able to crawl your website, and also the real users will see 500 server error. Even the real users will have a bad experience. You will lose the business. So the server has to be up and running. The server has to be up all the time and running at 100 percentage score. if the server goes down, the crawl stats will have an impact, and in turn the SEO gets affected. Okay. Also, the real users visiting the website will have a bad experience. Got it? Right? That's why it's suggested to have the good response time. Sorry, the server has to be up most of the times. Okay. So most of the hosting providers assures 99% uptime or 100% uptime. Servers cannot be 50% uptime, 60% uptime. Server shouldn't go down at all at any cost. That's a very rare negligible possibility or scenarios where servers might go down for a minute, few minutes, 5 minutes. So a very good service provider servers will never go down. Occasionally, due to maintenance, even that will be known downtimes. Don't be unknown downtimes. They'll communicate the server might go down or server might get busy. So, in case if you're hosting it on the shared hosting, so where the same server gets shared by multiple website owners. So, in those cases, when there is lots of traffic and most of the resources or bandwidth is taken by one of the domain, your domain will not load quickly or your domain will face the downtimes, your server, your experience. So for example, when I have opened this many apps here, the brackets, Excel, quick type player, PDF, so many apps, these apps are taking all the computer resources, the CPU or the RAM. Now, when I try to open a new app, that might get stuck or the processing will be slow, correct? So, this is a shared resource. This computer is a shared resource or a common platform for all of these apps. So, for websites, also there can be a common server. So, it's suggested not to have a shared hosting, especially when your website is very dynamic, has lots of content, lots of traffic to the website, right? And if you're expecting a very aggressive growth, if you fall into a business category, highly competitive business category, and if your business success completely depends on the server response times, then in those cases you have to avoid shared hosting. Okay. Okay, so you all got it right. Yeah. And how to measure? We are going to use these tools. Okay. So I'll suggest also read information from wise flow in order to understand better about the performance optimization. Wiseflow.org. Okay. Okay. So technical SEO mostly we discussed about performance only all these issues. Okay, so in technical SEO, you also deal with the status codes. So, 10th point, HTTP status codes. Okay, server response time, total time taken by server, fastest response time, better it is. So, you can refer or read this data on Search Console on Google Search Console settings crawl stats. Okay. HTTP status codes. So in one of the class we have already discussed HTTP status codes. So make sure that your web pages always serve TP serve 200 status code or appropriate code respectively based on the content file status. If they are not available, it has to show 4.4. Okay, so you have to look into This as well, load times, HTTP status codes. Uh, yeah, we'll also look into the indexed pages. Okay, so this information is available on the search console under the pages section. This helps you to understand what's happening with the what's happening with this helps you to understand what's experience with your website's web pages. Okay, so on such console, I'll take example one of the website. So this is where you can look into or understand the pages and their various status codes or the experience what bots are experiencing with your web pages. It's taking time to load. Yeah. So alternate page with canonical tag. So yesterday we were discussing all this in the site level implementations. So you see there are different kinds of status, not found 404, excluded by no index tag, duplicate with, see all this may not necessarily be the problems. So this can be the actual implementations or what you are expecting, but then just you have to cross check and make sure. So is this all known implementations or unknowingly bot is getting this experience without your notice? That could be accidental as well. See, excluded by no index tag. So yesterday we were discussing no index tag is used on the web pages in order to tell to bots not to index those pages. They might crawl, but we are asking not to show it on the Google. That is no index tag. That's what no index tag does. See, if this 53 pages are invalid pages, that's perfectly fine. If this 53 pages are very valid pages, informative pages, good pages, then it's gone. You will see a very bad effect on your business or website. So look at this alternate page with proper canonical tags. So it's perfectly fine. So you see the dynamic URLs question mark HS AMP, right? Some dynamic URLs are getting accelerated mobile pages. These are AMPs accelerated mobile pages. This is automatically generated by Google. Okay. So this are all has canonical tags which are pointing to an URL that's ending with campaigns. Yes, the URL that's ending with system yum, right? So this is actually good. So this way you have to understand. See, these are actually the site level implementations, but understanding this, we have already discussed most of these things, right? Just understanding all this is super important, and we'll be discussing these things in depth when we discuss this tool, right? Search console, I think we haven't discussed still, correct? And this almost covers most of the technical aspects in case technical SEO. So in case if we are missing out on anything, maybe we'll cover it back in case if something is missing. Mostly we may have not missed anything at all. Okay, so this is all covered. Okay, so in the next class we can start with off page SEO. Okay, so for today we'll wind it up. Okay, any questions, guys? Any doubts? Any questions? Is it all clear for everybody? Are you all understanding it? So in case of any questions, doubts, let me know. Okay.